Hello again. I'm in the car now looking at getting the engine and gearbox out. So I've taken the bellows off the gearbox. I'm going to take this bit of steel off so I can undo these, and that means the whole gear lever will be able to drop down then. I'm going to disconnect the prop shaft, undo the gearbox mounts from underneath, drop the subframe mounts and unwire the ECU, but I think there's only about 4 wires needed to power it. So I'll get them off, I'll label the ones so I know where they go, and then we should be able to drop the engine. I'm going to be a bit restricted for space. I won't be able to get it out of the garage because I'll need a hoist to pick it up, to get it in the back of the van. And hopefully, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with the engine. I can do a leak down test with it out of the car. It'd be good if there wasn't so much work to do to the chassis. I'd get the work done and I'd just try it and drive it and leave it ticking over for ages and then drive it through traffic and see if it has a problem. But I can't really do that at the moment, so I don't know if I want to take it out and put it back in. I'll take it out and do a compression test and then we can reassess it from there. Right, I've brought some new chain. I couldn't find my other one, then I found my other one. These are called Thunderbolts, and these are 100 by 8. So it means you drill an 8mm hole. This is where I did it before. And you go just through here is the concrete. So once you get through you just drill an 8mm hole into the concrete. You don't use anything. You just wind that into the concrete, and I reckon one of these is going to be enough to hold it. So the idea being, I've got these big plate washers, and what I'll do is I'll cut a link off the chain. So I've got half a link and I'll weld it onto here. Well, I could weld it onto the head, but I don't know what these are made of. They're probably toughened or something. So I'll weld it on there. I've got a piece of plywood, so I was going to cut a piece to go over the strut top with the middle cut out, so I can put the chain through it with a piece of steel or something on the top just to spread the load. Otherwise, if I just put a bar over here, it's probably going to dent the bar, dent the bit that sticks up. Anyway, I've got to get it all secure first and bolted down. So I'm going to get the jack the rear up, so I can drill into the floor, get a thunderbolt in that side with something at an angle so the car won't pull backwards, and so I can put a strap around the rear beam, hold it, stop it from lifting up when I'm doing the front. The front will be down here somewhere, probably at an angle, and then I'll jack it up from under there. So this will be the main pit trying to get up, but eventually the back will try lifting. That's what happened last time. I don't know how much effort I'm going to have to put into it. It was the chassis leg that went last time, so this might move a lot easier. Right, I didn't do any welding. I've just done a temporary job just to give it a little bit of a lift and see what sort of movement we got. So I am going to get a measurement. I might just go from the strut top to the engine, and or from the windscreen wiper to the strut top. Just get some datum so I can see what's moving where. The axle stands are on the chassis leg. I've marked from the laser level that's strapped to the door, which we've got a bit of wind today, so you can see it's the garage door's getting moved a little bit, but that seems to be where it wants to be. So what I'll do is I'll jack it up. Obviously it's going to all move as I'm jacking it up, then I'll let it back down and I'll see if we've had any movement there as well. And I think what I need to do is no, I'll just do that for now. I'll take a measurement from one side to the other like I did yesterday as well. I've just put a mark here on some masking tape and some mark there, and the distance is 915. I know it's 1012 or 1102 from there, but it's a bit hard getting to them there. So this is just a trial, just to see how much effort needs to go into it, whether I need to bolt the whole lot down, and yeah, we'll just give it a go and see. Right, I've given it a few pumps. I've not gone mad. There's a bit of creaking going on. It's not, we're not twanging yet, so we don't need the safety blanket on just yet. It's just been a couple of pumps up. We're going to ignore that line because the whole car's lifted up, so it's only when I go down I can get a measurement off that. We've moved 15 millimeters. We've gone 15 millimeters wider. That might all pop back again, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to give it a few more pumps. In fact, you can, unfortunately, I'm in a bit of a bad position here. I think I'll go this side. I'm not frightened yet. Back's starting to come up a bit. A bit more creaking going on. Probably what I could do with now is something to push that over. Now it's got a bit of pressure on it going upwards. I should put the port power. I need to get the engine out really if I want to use the port power and start pushing it that way as well. Right, let me measure this one again. Yeah, we've now gone wider 20 mil. I think the overall width was 100 mil, but I don't know. I think this one's got to go as well. Oh, still creaking. I think if the pressure got too much, it would cut into the timber. It's not got a great deal of pressure on it, but I still wouldn't want it to let go. I'll leave it like that for a bit. Yeah, I could do with pumping that a little bit and pushing it over. I should have done this before I started moving it. 74.2. I'm presuming it needs to go to 90. So if it goes up far enough, no, it's coming down, isn't it? Oh, light's gone out. Yeah, if I keep, if that goes down, it should, maybe this needed to be a bit more over this way, so to sort of pull it that way. I'll give it a bit more, and we'll have a look and see if the, oh, it's still on, it's just not the lights on. We'll see if the degrees change. We can do it whilst we're right in front of the chain. Yeah, again, it's just lifting the car up, so I won't really know what's going on until I take it back out. Right, I don't think I'll be able to get much more effort into that, Jack. That Thunderbolt's holding extremely well. Well, I'm going to leave it, have a cup of coffee, let it settle for a bit, and then have a look in a minute. We'll let it back down and do some measurements. Right, I've dropped it down, I've taken the wood out, I've measured the holes that were a metre, exactly a metre, before I did this, and now they've gone 8 mil further apart. So I would measure the height again, but I'd have to set it all up and level it all up, and I think I'll just concentrate. I need to get the engine out. That will, I might leave the gearbox in and just drop the engine, and then that way I can not have to get involved with the clutch, and I can just slide it out, get it on I've got a transmission trolley that I can put underneath it, take the subframe and everything, just roll it all out so the power steering can stay on, and then that will give me plenty of space. I reckon if I've got a bit of strain on that, and then I put the porter power, even if it's between the two turrets, it's going to push them apart, but I need to make sure I don't go too far. I need to make sure, I need to get one in the right place, or know where the right place is before I just keep pumping. I can get the 1 metre 121 or whatever it is between the holes, but they both could be too far over. So I've got to make sure I don't do that, because I could move one further than it needs to be. Right, let's get this engine out. Well, that's the engine out. So it was the steering column. I'd unbolted it from below. There's two. There's bolts on that side as well. So I'd undone those, but it was really didn't want to come out. So I undid the top bolt, and after that came out. That was fine. The bolts holding the exhaust on were, two of them snapped, fortunately. But I think they were different bolts they weren't BMW bolts. I think they're bolts that I just put on last time. That's great, I've got good access now. What I am thinking of though is putting a subframe back on, because we know that's in the right place. Well, we know they're parallel. The whole lot could be squiff. I think my next job is to drop plumb line down, mark the floor, and see if it is straight all the way down. If not, we might have to, well, we'll worry about that when we come across it. Hopefully they're still in the right position. And if that's the case, we'll put the subframe on to hold them in place, and we'll just work on the top bits. I mean, I think this is 7mm higher than this one, which I'm guessing as this goes over, that will probably move down slightly. I am finding little things like that. Now that's not rusty, that is just not welded. So it's had new inner wings, I'd say, but I don't think, yeah, it's not, it seems it's got a gap there as well when it's joined. So I think really, yeah, the same there. We need to get the paint off it, have a look, and then make sure we weld it, and maybe put gussets there. And that's what they do on the Escorts. They put gussets to give it a bit more strength. But it didn't have much chance if it wasn't properly welded in the first place. But I don't know yet until I get the paint off it. But yeah, that's going to make life so much easier. It's a bit of a pain getting out. But at least I can check the clutch now, have a look at that. I mean, I've had a look between the plates, and it doesn't look too bad, but it can't really tell until we get it out. The wiring it looks a mess, but it was pretty basic really. There was two wires that run the loom. Well, one wire that provides power, one to do an earth, and then there's an ignition feed and a rev counter, and that's the only cables I needed, because the starter and everything on there, they're all part of the car loom, because it's got independent lights, not got BMW dash and all that. So it just makes doing the engines not much easier. I've just given it a quick wipe over because it was quite messy. I'll give the floor a sweep. A lot of antifreeze, coolant came out the engine, which is a good sign. So I've had to mop that up because I don't want to be lying in it. But I can't. That's just gonna have to go in the corner. It's a bit hard to move around. That's a bit of weight to it. Right, it's pouring down the rain. It's getting late. I'm going to call it a day, and then I'm going to tomorrow get my porta power, and then oh yeah, look, that's got quite a crease in it as well. Oh, it's only protected. That's nothing. Yeah, don't worry about that. That's just to stop the exhaust heat. So yeah, I think tomorrow might be a day of straightening. Good morning, it's Saturday morning, so I've got all day to fiddle about with the car. What I've done is I've put another subframe on the car. I didn't want to get that one off because it would be a nightmare. Need the engine crane. And it went straight on. There was no, it just went straight on. So that means that one's not bent on that one. and the bottom of the chassis legs are parallel. Whether they're in the right place, I'm still not sure. So I've levelled the car up. I've gone off the gutters this time with my laser level, and I've had to put a little packer in there because they're different axle stands. I've just put the level on that, the digital level, and we're 0.2 of a degree out. So yeah, we're not far off, unless they're both wrong. So what I need is a port power to start pushing them out until I get the right dimensions across the top. It's closed up, no, it's opened up a bit, which is where we want to go, but not enough. So I think we do need the port power just to give it a bit of a hand. Right, I've got the porter power. I've put some blocks of wood on this turrets, so I've started pumping and it's making a lot of creaking. There's a lot of things moving about here, but there's not much pressure. You can actually see it moving. I just don't think there's been enough weld on this to hold it all in place. That's visibly moving every time I pump it. And these are going straighter. But there's a good chance I'm going to release the pressure and it's just going to pop back in again. Yeah, that side's gone back to where it should be. That was pulled out before, and now it's gone back to its original place. That's at the right angle. This needs to go a bit more, but I don't want to push this over further. I need to get the centre line of the car. Once I've got the centre line, I can work out which one needs to go where. I've tried centre lining through from the windscreen, but I've levelled the car and it's not levelling up with the centre line. But it's so hard to get a centre line from the windscreen because the rubber, this has got a bonded in screen. It's just got a rubber that's stuck over it. So the screen could be too far over or whatever, so that's not a very accurate way of doing it. The roof vent, there's no point measuring off that because that's been stuck on afterwards. Right, let's take some measurements. That was dead on a metre before, from hole to hole. Let's see what it is now. That's now 1080, so it's moved over 80 mil. I need to go 1102, I think it is. So 22 mil more. But I don't know how much spring back there's going to be when I release the pressure on this. See if that pops out. Let's see what it's doing up here with the... I can't remember what that was like before. This looks like the front bit needs to go forward a bit. We can work on that. This is looking a little bit straighter. We'll keep going, see what happens. Gosh. Whoa, it's flying over. Ooh. I think I'll leave it there for a bit. Yeah, it's definitely moving. Right, I'm going to level this up again. Check that's level. I'm going to, I think I need to stop now and do some measurements, or leave it like this for a bit and then release the pressure and see how much it springs back. I'll measure up and then we'll see where it'll go from there. I think what we need is a strut brace, and maybe to bring it back, reinforce it through the bulkhead or through the cage.